Alright, we are back with some more Kingdoms of Amalur, picking up where we left off in that tutorial. We're going to go ahead and try to finish this out, get our first level up at the end. Let's hop into it. And it wants us to go ahead and change the camera view, and then you can also sprint. That gets automatically mapped to your A button on Xbox.
You've made it, and look at you, even with all you've been through. The Tuatha, your return from the dead. Please forgive me, you must be terribly confused by all of this. I am Fomerus Hughes, and this is my laboratory at Alistar. Everything you see here is dedicated to one thing, the Well of Souls, the pursuit of immortality. And you're my first success. If we only had the time, there's so much we might learn from one another. Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet. What's important is getting you out of here safely. You're the only proof of what we've achieved here. I may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe. Absolutely not. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe. It's just that you're... Wait, where are you going?
Fascinating. Simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow...
Yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what... Perhaps I should go see.
Sir! Mr. Hughes! The Tuatha have reached the lab! They're inside the lab!
No! We've got to get you out of here now! Quickly! Follow the path to the town of Gorhart. Find Agath. He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else, stay alive!
And in this part of the tutorial, you do have to be a little bit careful because those falling rocks can hurt you. And we come up here to find a pair of Tuatha enemies. We're just gonna go ahead and stealth the one. Then we head over to our inventory, switch over to the rusty longsword because why not? And they don't even drop anything. Unbelievable. They sometimes will, but it's not all the time. I would say probably generally they don't.
Get moving, you brute! Tear this tower apart!
And here the big battle to finish off the tutorial. You get 2 Tuatha along with a troll. now, we'll go ahead and grab that minor serpent venom that we slotted in the last, and since we don't have any more, we'll go ahead and clear that off the item radial for now. Ooh, and that even let us stagger the troll, that's huge. I mean, wow. And here we get one of our first glimpses of a major mechanic in this game, the Fate Shift. Uh, 5 health really is pretty meaningless, but again, with a lot of our starting equipment, better than nothing. Coin, a shard of a gem there. The minor venom guard, that's really not going to be super useful in most instances, so I'm going to go ahead and junk that. And I believe that is all the loot in this room. So here we go out into the world. And as soon as we step away from the tower, we are greeted with our first level up. So anytime you level up, you're going to get 1 point to the skill tree here. Again, you can go through and figure out what you like. For this playthrough, since again I'm going to be avoiding buying anything from the merchants, as well as not creating my own gear, we're not going to need blacksmithing, nor will we need mercantile. And also, since I'm going to be using hammers, the stealth block is going to be pretty useless. Persuasion is always nice, as that can open up some other options in dialogue. The detect hidden is great because then you can find some hidden treasures around the map. Later on, you discover hidden doors, and you can even disable traps with this. The dispelling I said in the last episode, that's one of my favorite skills right there, just because those cursed chests in the wild can be pretty annoying. The lockpicking is a nice one, though I think for most locks that you encounter, you can pick them without too much difficulty. So we're going to go ahead, I think, and actually put our first skill into Detect Hidden, and then we'll take a look at these ability trees. As I said in the first episode, I am going to be going for sort of a hammer build, so this might tree is going to be one of our heavier investments, I would say. We're going to want the hammer mastery, we're going to want some brutal weaponry stacks. The skillful defense is great, blocking definitely is a big part of this game. You're going to want to invest pretty heavily there if you're doing sort of a might build. Even some of the finesse stuff, you may want to have skillful defense. The finesse tree we're probably going to be leaving alone, since again I'm not going to do any of the assassin's art type of stealth skill kills. We're also not going to be using bows most likely. I think I'm going to go for a scepter based build. Some of these active skills are pretty good, like Shadow Flare. That said, if you're not going to do too much with the finesse tree here, you won't be able to go super far. As you'll notice, in order to get the next tier, we would need 5 points invested in finesse, then you need 20, then 35, then 50, and then 70. So we would need some pretty heavy investment into stuff that we're really not going to be using too much. Then looking at the sorcery, again, probably going to go for scepters. We are going to want the arcane weaponry at some point as it unlocks some special attacks with the scepter. And then for the stun part of the build, Stormbolt is going to be huge, as well as we'll go for some conservative casting later on. And potentially go for Healing Surge. We'll see how much other investment we need to do to make that happen. That should be achievable though. So for right now, I'm going to go for that Scepter Mastery. We're going to go for that Skillful Defense. And why don't we put our last point into that Hammer Mastery. And we'll stick there for now. In the meantime, we're going to take another look through our inventory and junk things that we don't need. And finally, we're about halfway through our inventory limit, so why don't we just go ahead and destroy all of those items. And eventually we will be looking to swap that longbow out for some type of scepter. And you'll notice now too in the mini-map up at the top right, since we do have a point in our detect hidden, we can see a dot where some friendlies are, and we should see later on when we run into some rats in just a little bit, we should see some red dots for enemies. And then you'll also see in a second, this is a game that rewards you for exploring a little bit. So as we jump into this lake, there isn't really a ton of reason to go here other than there's a whirlpool here. Unfortunately, it's just some crude cotton shoes, which again, that's going to be more for a sorcery build. We're going to go ahead and junk those. But then there's going to be a couple other whirlpools in this little area here that we can go ahead and search. Those iron daggers, again, sorcery-based. And then that scarwood bark, which is a reagent which we can utilize for crafting some potions later on in the game. And what do you know, right off the bat, we actually get a scepter that we can throw into our secondary weapon. And this one is even going to deal some lightning damage, and that's going to help along the way of that stun build. The cotton cowl, there again, that's going to be more for a sorcery based, but we don't have anything there yet, so we might as well take the 6 armor, and mana regen is not going to hurt at all with that scepter in the secondary item slot. And then again, exploring a little bit, there are those red dots for some enemies. We're going to go ahead and come over here, and we're greeted with some rats. And we'll just fire some scepter bolts. And we make pretty quick work of them. And almost immediately, we're actually greeted with a lock-picking challenge. This one is a very easy, so we can just go ahead. You can adjust the angle of your pick with the right stick. Once you are happy with the angle that you want to test out, you go ahead and slide the left stick over. Now, you'll want to start off relatively slow. Of course, that one didn't really give me much of a chance to showcase it, but if you do pick the wrong angle, you'll start to feel the controller vibrate a little bit. On those very easy chests, you get a lot of warning. Once you get up to the harder and very hard, you get very little warning. In the very hard, in fact, it's almost immediate. You get a little bit of vibration, and then before you can react, oh, your lockpick's broken. Now we get some unique armor already. This, though, is again going to be for that sorcery-based build where you don't have 6 points in sorcery yet. Obviously, actually, right off the bat, you wouldn't be able to get 6 points in sorcery. So, but we'll take it, and we'll see if we get anything better by the time that we get to that point. And here we are with our first cursed chest. Now for these, I'll be honest, I don't even try to dispel these, as you have to be pretty precise with your button presses. I'll just show you what I mean here. You want to try to deactivate all of these glyphs by the time the bar in the top right runs out. So we will give this a shot here. And I actually did it first try. Wow. That is a pretty ridiculous shield to get right off the bat. I mean, block 7 damage, which, fine, 15 armor, not incredible, but that plus 3 to might abilities, I mean, that is insane. It's going to be a shame to get rid of that later on, because, I mean, that 15 armor is going to prove pretty useless later on, but the plus 3 to might abilities is just ridiculous for early game. And again, we get a minor mana potion and some Scarwood Bark. We'll take both of those. I should mention the reagents like the Scarwood Bark do not take up any room in your inventory. You have a component pouch where all of your reagents will be housed, and they do not count against your inventory limit. Here again, we've got a very easy lock. Let's see if this one gives me a chance to show you the vibration. Nope, I got it first try again. Man. These shadow prisms, they are a consumable that allow you to kind of avert the gaze of guards or enemies that are nearby. I've never even used them even in my finesse builds, but they are most useful for a finesse build. I'm just going to go ahead and junk them. Ooh, actually, little bit of metagaming on my part. I do know for a fact there are going to be some stealth-based missions in the future, and for my might and sorcery-based build, I am not going to be investing in stealth, so these may prove useful. And so for that reason, I'm just going to go ahead and take everything there, and then this poor guy that didn't really make it. Another crude iron kite shield, which we don't want. And then those are some crafting items, but again, I'm not going to be making my own equipment. As you make your own equipment, you get pretty OP pretty quick. These are another thing that you'll find throughout the Kingdoms of Amalur, are shrines. Each one is going to give you a different short-term perk based on what deity they are to. So this Shrine of Mitharu is going to give me Mitharu's protection. And if we go to our pause menu and we go to status, we can actually see the effects. And there's Mitharu's protection giving me 0.5 health regen per second for as long as it lasts. And then we see again on our mini-map, we've got an enemy over here. And we'll just take that out with a couple of quick scepter blasts.
You! I remember you. You're the one? How did you come back? How did you find me here? No,
I had no idea anything like that would happen. The Well of Souls is bigger than one gnome's pet project. My employer pays for information about its progress. I just send the reports to make some money on the side. I never wanted anyone to get hurt.
And for this guy, I mean, he obviously was paid money by the Tuatha to inform on the well. For me, I generally go ahead and kill him. You can choose to allow him to live. It really, again, does not make a difference in the game long run. It's just a short-term decision. And hopefully in the sequel, if we get one, these types of decisions will have, some type of long-term repercussions.
But what?
And we'll just go ahead and harvest some reagents around here. Again, that'll be for potion making later on in the game. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. Be well, and I'll see you next time around.